Hey, what's up, mortals? It's Kagura here. And before we get into today's video, there is something I'd like to say. I'd like to let you all know that we have a merch store. Some of the items in it are only available for a limited amount of time. So if you're interested, go into the description and check it out. Each purchase helps us make more content. Secondly, if this video hits 300 likes by the end of this week, we will continue this what if. Thirdly, if you didn't know, only 41.3% of you guys are subscribed to us. So please, hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon. Now with that out of the way, let's get into the story. Mirio leapt back just as the ebony villain swiped at him with its bone-crushing fist. The blow avoided, Mirio put more space between himself and his aggressor. Mirio studied the massive muscle and madness that was the ebony villain. His brain worked overtime, the next symbol of peace needed to figure out what had happened. He was sure he hit the villain with enough force to send him flying, yet here they were. Curious, aren't you? The villain that looked like he came out of an incredibly low-budget film mocked. This is Nomu, an artificial villain created to kill All Might himself. He has super strength, shock absorption, and regeneration quirks. Unstoppable, obedient, and decadent. You'll make the perfect warm-up for him, mini-boss. Once he's done with you, your friends will join you in the grave. Mirio grinded his teeth. The youth was unafraid of the formidable opponent before him, but worried about his friends. If he failed, a number of horrible fates awaited them if the teachers didn't get here in time. Mirio focused and readied himself for another assault. Shigaraki noticed and smiled with a twisted grin of madness. The villain pointed at Mirio. Nomu, kill him! The ebony villain charged at the caped hero with breakneck speed, its fists cocked back to crush their target with their titanic strength. As the meteoric impact would occur, they passed through the hero. A gigantic dust cloud formed where the hero once stood, obscuring the surrounding area. A declaration cut through the cloud. Phantom Menace! A shower of devastating blows rained down on Nomu, attacking its joints and various other weak points on its body. Air whipped around Mirio's fists with each successful hit, the strength of which stopped the fighting in the area, turning the heroes and villains into mere spectators. After 184 attacks, Mirio ended his super attack. The power within him still felt a bit alien at this level. Artificial or not, he wasn't willing to accidentally kill the villain in front of him. The beaked villain skidded back 14 feet from where it once stood. Its body showed mild signs of being damaged before it regenerated and a third eye appeared at the center of its forehead. Oh, and did I forget to mention the fourth quirk we recently added? The quirk is called Piercing Eye. It detects when a quirk is activated and where it's focused in the body. Our new coworker thought it'd be paramount in your defeat. Tomura's smile practically split his face. The young villain was thus far satisfied with what he'd seen. You won't have much luck using your permeation quirk from now on, mini-boss. The third eye glowed with a purple hue as it darted from side to side. The beast roared and charged at Mirio again, ready to redeem its past efforts. This time, the villain moved more organized and efficient than it seemed at first. Actual technique and focus were put behind its attacks. Mirio phased through the attack and appeared behind it. Blinder touch! Eyeball crush! The artificial villain didn't so much as flinch as Mirio's finger permeated through its skull. Yet this didn't stop Mirio's momentum. He cranked OFA up to 65 before marching his fist up toward the villain's chin. After his super move landed, Mirio planned to use the moment it was staggered to attack its exposed brain. Unfortunately for him, the creature had other plans. Ah! Mirio let out a cry of pain. The bones in his wrist were pulverized by the Nomu. The villain had brought its own fist down on the hero's own. Taking advantage of the seconds of stun granted by pain, the monster unleashed a torrent of blows on the hero. Mirio was sent flying backwards in a bloodied heap. His costume torn, the hero came to his senses in time and permeated through the ground, narrowly avoiding the foot posed to crush his skull. Tomura laughed while Mirio reappeared away from the villain. What's wrong, hero? Finally realized that you're in a hopeless situation? Are you going to beg? If you do, I might just grant you a quick death. Mirio used the time that the villain was using to mock him to collect his wits and think. The way he was using OFA was not working. He surmised that if he had continued his initial beatdown on the beaked villain, he might have won, but now he wasn't so sure. With its new quirk revealed and a broken wrist, Mirio would have to find a new path to victory. But how could he deliver? Little dude! A deep and familiar voice called out to him from within his own mind. You have to use my power now! I know you see it as a dark gift, but it's not!
I've always been a man with a bit of temper, but anger isn't a toxic emotion. It is a passion and a drive. Like with any, if used correctly, can help others.
The voice of his predecessor yelled encouragement at him. If this were any other situation, this might have put the youth on edge, but this was life and death. Mirio needed to listen, adapt, and grow if he was to protect anyone, and he was no stranger to the concept of adaptation.
Let it flow. Give your desire and righteous indignation purpose. Concentrate and accept all aspects of yourself, and let the power flow out of your body with direction.
His predecessor advised carefully, not wanting to put the teenager on further edge. Mirio permeated through the floor and reappeared in front of the ebony villain on purpose.
Revenge of the Fifth!
Mirio threw a punch at 50% that Nomu retaliated against with its own, but as the fists would meet, black smog erupted from Mirio's clenched fist. The smog became tendrils that pierced the creature, sending it flying upward. Mirio sank into the ground using a combination of his quirk and OFA to launch himself up above the villain.
Imperial March! Dark Side Crush!
From Mirio's forearms, shins, back, and chest, the tendrils emerged, pulling, lacerating, and beating at the villain's body mid-air. Mirio gritted his teeth as his opponent broke free of his assault. The blonde dug deep, and with all the power he could muster, shouted to the heavens.
Empire Strikes Back!
Mirio used the remaining tendril wrapped around the villain's waist to pull him closer. Next, the young hero did something that most would consider mad. He raised the power of OFA to 80% and combined it with Black Whip.
Unlimited power!
A tsunami of pitch-black darkness slammed in the villain, overwhelming it. Tendril after tendril slammed into the beast, mincing its body faster than it could regenerate, before launching it through the roof of the building in a colossal sonic boom. Mirio landed gracefully after defeating the villain, just in time for his body to give out from underneath him. Falling to his hands and knees, Mirio glanced up at the remaining villains glaring at him. Before we get back into the story, I would like to say that we've got a second channel called Anime Deep Dive. Anime Deep Dive goes over the hard facts of the anime presented. Now, in case you guys didn't know, we have a third channel called Anime Theory. Anime Theory mainly focuses on a large variety of mind-boggling anime theories. If you are interested in content like this, please go check the description below or click the icon in the top right corner. Now with that out of the way, let's get back into the story.
Cheater! He used the cheat code! I know it! He's not supposed to have a third quirk! Kurogiri, kill him!
Tomura continued to rant as a purple portal formed underneath Mirio. The young hero who was powerless to resist with his haggard body. As his body began to sink through, a tentacle quickly wrapped around his waist, pulling him free of the abyss of smoke. "I'm glad I ate that sake cup before classes," Tamaki said with one arm wrapped around his best friend.
You bastards! How did you?
Tomura would stop mid-sentence and noticed that his other allies had been defeated by the senior class heroes.
How? I spent weeks planning this. I even improved Nomu. This shouldn't be possible.
The ringleader begged in frustration and wrath. "Simple. We're UA's finest. We always find a way to win. No matter what." Tamaki would answer, staring down the villain that had tried to kill his friend. The villains were surrounded by a throng of various students. They all looked like they meant business. None of them reflected fear in their eyes. Instead, they all burned with a single-minded purpose. "It would appear that retreat is all that remains to us as we course," the man of mist said, with slight disappointment in his tone.
Damn it, we were so close. We didn't even make it to the final boss. Kurogiri, get us out of here. And next time,
Shigaraki aimed a glare at Mirio.
we'll have more data on you, mini-boss.
With that, the two villains vanished in a blink of mist before any of the senior students could stop them. "Aw, they got away," Nejira pouted with inflated cheeks. "We almost took them down." She continued as she floated to Mirio's side. She took a look at his wrist and frowned. A tear fell down her face. "We have to get him some help, Tamaki." Tamaki would nod at this. "Yeah, but what are we gonna do about all these villains?" After Tamaki asked the question, all the teachers of UA came rushing onto the scene, answering whatever question he had. Even All Might arrived to help. Guys? I'm right here." Mirio spoke in a hoarse voice. He was ignored by a pouting Nejire. Tamaki answered his friend. "She's mad at you," Tamaki announced with a frown. Nejire whined again. "She said you've been hiding your pain, and she's upset you didn't talk to us." Nejire stopped, crying more tears. "She's upset and I'm upset that you've been ignoring your best friends. She's refusing to speak to you until you tell us what's wrong." "So am I," Tamaki finished as he loaded Mirio on his back. Mirio frowned but didn't say a word. Perhaps All Might and Sir would allow him to confide in his friends. If not, he would go behind their backs. These were the two people he loved. They were family to him, and he could no longer afford to isolate them from this part of his life. Later that evening, the king of the underworld smiled at a boy with green hair favorably. His odd quirks aside, the youth's plans and foresight had been better than Tomura's own. "Well, young man, how was your first day of class?" he asked with a genuine smile.
They were fine, sir.
The boy said nervously in fear of the man. Of course the youth knew the importance of this day. No matter what way the plan had gone, the youth counted himself a failure. "That's good, young man. Now, do you remember our deal?" the Shadow King asked, his words dripping with mirth.
Yes. You wanted me to study a few quirks for you and come up with a strategy to counter them. If I did a good job, you promised a reward. And if I failed, you...
The man raised his hand, stopping the youth from speaking. "Now, there's no need to dwell on potential punishment. You did a marvelous job. In fact, you were nearly successful in your mission. Due to unforeseen complications, you failed, but that wasn't your fault. It was mine, and for this, you will be rewarded. Due to your stellar work, I've had the good doctor whip up a quirk that's simply perfect for you. A fusion of my own design. Now come, boy. Step forward and receive your due reward." The young boy stepped forward with shaking legs. The man placed his hand on the messy mop that was the teenager's hair. "You may fear me for now, but make no mistake. I, as well as Tomura, hold you in favor, and know that you have done what few have in this world. Earn your power." In a flash of lightning, the quirk was transferred to the boy, and due to its alien nature rendered him unconscious. "Kurogiri, take the child home and inform our friend that his medical expertise is needed. We can't have the heroes catching on to our little spy." "Very well, master," the well-dressed villain replied, picking the boy up, careful not to bruise him further than his fall had. "Oh, and tell Tomura we managed to repossess our fallen experiment. Just because it failed at one task, doesn't mean it can't succeed at another." The man grinned as the gears of more sinister machinations began to turn within his soul. Thank you all for watching the video to the end. Now, there's a few more things that I'd like to go over before the video ends. On behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank the writer for this video, as well as the editor for this video. Their details will be in the description below. If you're a voice actor, editor, or writer, or you're interested in becoming one of those, go to the Discord that is in the description of this video and hit up one of the head of those areas. We're always looking for members to join us. That's it from us for today's video. So thank you all for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're interested, and hit that like button if you liked the video. Until next time, peace out, mortals. Have an amazing day.